and also, I mean, for more examples, like for chef, there might, I mean, some I'm not talking about a big chef, but all the catering team, maybe the goal will be more solid than just, okay, just want to see people enjoy their food and that's it. Maybe the goal will be a little bit more solid, like they want people to instantly bring up their phone to take the photo of the food because it's so beautiful.
So pretty.
The solid goal will be they want to see that facial expression of, you know, heavenly happiness right away at the first bite. So we should calibrate our objective to be specific, to be tangible, to be able to be assessed right away. We can achieve the goal right away, and our service will get better and better with that. So we talk a lot about observation, like what Kun Trent said, and also Tơi also said about that as well. Like we have to observe, we have to be very open and very alert, not alarming, but very, you know, active to observe the environment and other people in your area, which is very basic in training for actors. I think this is something that we need for the service industry as well. We need people to be very, very, you know, very keen for observation. So can you guys throw some ideas about this? What observation can make difference in our service?
I would say the observation is something that you can attention to details, because if you have a little bit of time, not only 10 minutes or 12 minutes with the customer, we don't have time to preparation. We don't have to search the Google who are there and what they like. So we need to be sensible on everything that we have. So we need to open our awareness all the time that we do the service, because we always look from our eyes, sense from our bodies, sense from our nose that what they are talking about, what the perfume they use, how they treat other people, and how the other people treat them as well. So we need to approach them correctly, because the service is not what we want. The service is what the customer want from us. So it's actually their objective actually, and we follow them. It's like when you improvise something at first, and then the first person follows something like that and guide the line.
So yeah, I mean, the observation give you a lot of information.
Yes.
That make sure that you can do something right away, right?
Yeah, because it's like when you look around the room and you see some peanuts a little bit on the floor, you know, and it might cause some big problem, because if our guests have some toddler or a baby crawl on the floor and pick up the peanuts in their mouth, they might choke, they might have allergy. It could be anything. I think the acting process will be open an eye for the first person to see what they should see more clearly, more wider, and more sensitive on everything that they have to go past by, I believe.
And observation also extend to the, I mean, when we say observation, we think about looking, but actually observation is also about listening as well. I think, friend, you mentioned something very interesting about you have to listen carefully, and you will get some information of what kind of, you know, desired or something that they will need afterwards. You can predict in advance.
Yes.
Add a little bit.
It's used a lot of technique of acting, because sometimes the client don't say what they want actually in their lines. It could be something else. It could be the acting. It could be some gesture that they express to us, and then they would mean something else that we need to guide. That we need to guess by us. That we need to consume by ourselves. And yeah, it takes a lot of training to understand them, like the subtext of each line of the meaning. And sometimes if you don't know quite sure, you need to ask always, because you don't serve what they don't like at all. You must asking. Sometimes asking is might annoying, I know, but you must asking in polite way. You might offer something that could be offer them some choices in terms of butler. So we offer some choices, alternatives for them to choose, and then we continue our service after the choosing process.
You told me that you want to express more about the observation.
Yeah, observation is one of the very first lesson that acting students have to learn, because we need, like, to be able to understand human or to understand other people, you need to be keen on observation. So you have to open your total awareness and also use your tools that everyone got it since the first day that you came to this world, which is the sense of perception. Like, it's come with your body. It's how you see the world, how you listen, how you hear, how you smell, how you touch them, or how even the feeling that you got, which in, like, there's a slang word called like vibe, like vibe is called vibration. So for example, what kind of vibe does this person give to you? Maybe it tells you something about that person. To understand them, it's not gonna help you work easier, but it's gonna like give you some opportunity to bonding with them as well. So detail matters a lot.
Right. Before we get to the other part of our talk, which is empathy. We talked a lot yesterday about empathy, that actor needs empathy. So before we go to that, I think we have a very interesting Q&A right now. The question show up right now. Kun Clemine Fu, she asked that, I assume, asked that sometimes for the frontliners in hotels, they are too scripted. And when they greet the customers, what can they do? I mean, when we go to some places that are very careful about how to interact with guests, and everything has become so scripted and lifeless, and they cannot go with the flow. So do you have any suggestion for them?
Yeah, you first.
Okay, thank you.
Kun Trent first. One by one. So Kun Trent first?
Kun Trent go first, yes.
Thank you. Because I've seen many my colleagues have been struck with this kind of problem also. It could be some, like, they need to follow the SOP, they need to follow like the name first, the name of the restaurant, and then how may I assist you. It could be anything that they need to follow in each step by step. It is okay if we want something that could be like the first time that we contact, the first time that we meet our clients, or the booking or reservation. But it could be lifeless if you have known the client already. It could be you could start with some voice intonation. You could start with smile. You could set up your tone of your emotion before you pick up the phones. Or sometimes we need to throw something that could be lively in terms of email, because we believe that every time that we contact with our customer, we choose the right word, we choose the right phrase, we use the right voice to talk to them. Sometimes we might start with listen to them for sometimes, and sometimes we can, like, okay, we throw our lines, which is a lifeless line, and then we see how they respond back, and then we change, something like that. It could be like, push and pull to each other, and then we gonna see that what next to be, because sometimes our waiter is so energetic. It could be like they follow the line strictly, and then our clients so okay, good morning, I want, so we follow and listen, certainly, and we follow their voices step by step, not rush them, not trying to be ourselves so much, so follow what we have heard before, something like that. So it could be like, action and reaction, I believe, Kun Tei.
Yes. So action and, sorry, Brang, are you going to say something?
Yeah, I just want to say that you have to feel what you say.
Yes.
You make the script different.
That's true. That's so
right?
easy.
When I say hi,
it sounds easy, Kun Tei. It sounds easy, but it's not.
But it's not.
For non-actor.
Yes, but if you're concerned about the feeling that you say, maybe it is more easy.
Oh yes.
In my idea.
Okay. For me, I think I agree with Trent, and I agree with Brang as well. Connect to your emotion. hear what you are speaking and your tone of voice, and if your sense telling you that this is no, this is something wrong with this tone of voice, then trust your instinct. Trust your guts. Your guts tells a lot. But before that, if you have time to practice, maybe try to take the script and change some word and put it in your own word, and run the script through your co-worker and let them see, do a role play. If you have time to prepare, do a role play and practice it with your coworker, and let your coworker be the audience. Your coworker have to be sincere as well. They have to give back like the very sincere feedback as well. That's how you can develop, and that's how you can work together.
I think it's very important. I mean, personally, as a client of any hotels or restaurant, sometimes the service is so standard. I mean, everyone want to make sure that you get the best service. So the best becomes standards everywhere when you go to 5-star hotels or whatever. But some hotels can make it more special. They train their team to be a very good communicator, a very good conversation initiator. I mean, this is my personal experience I would like to share. I think it's answered Clemene question as well. I've been to a restaurant in a hotel, and I know that the greetings and everything is very scripted because, I've seen and I heard a lot of it many times. But after the script is over, I know that the script is over right there. They have.
How can I help you?
Yeah. But I know that the script ended right there. But after I try to okay, I feel very blue today. I would like you to introduce me something different. And she can come up with a very lively conversation. How do you feel? What can I help you? Would you like something sweet? Would you like to try something spicy? The conversation flows from that. I mean, sometimes when service designer very strict with what in the script and never let any room for improvisation, the conversation become very lifeless. But when you open up a little bit and you train your team to be, very engaged with the conversation, the experience is totally different. Totally different, I can tell you. I mean, I really want to go back to that place anytime I have time and to spend like afternoon in the Sunday or something. So, but I just want to share that the sense of ownership of the conversation is very crucial. You have to feel like you are in that conversation as well, right? You are not trying to just deliver some lines from the script, but you really want to communicate. You really want to talk with the person you're talking to. So I think this is something acting can help a lot. Acting can help service provider a lot about that. Okay. And the next question, I think, is quite related. Any advice on how to deal with the customers that they are very, very self-centered and they must get what they want right away? But it's a little too much for us to handle. I think it's a very, very interesting question. Anybody want to throw in?
I think actually the client is the center. Okay, fine. I know that. But yeah, it's true. It's true because they pay for our service.
It's our job, right?
It's my job. So that they are center. So please be the good surroundings for them. So if they want something to be a center, be a center. I will let you be the best self-center that I have never met before. And we need to check our policy that how big we can do, how much we can do, how many things that we can do for these clients. Because we believe that sometimes it will be too over, and sometimes we need to exaggerate ourselves too much. Like we have been delivered this especially for you is how we approach to them. Because sometimes the choices that we give to the client is very simple. Maybe just a mixed drink that we do some new recipe like in that time, and then we say that this is especially for you only. It could be something that how we deliver the service, not only an object, because the object it could be changed that much. It could be the food that we have, the drink that we have, but how we deliver our service to the clients that make them so special, so self-centered, so very important. The only person in this room will be the king of this room. It could be like that also, that how we deliver the service, which I think the acting could be help also, I believe.
Yeah. That can be helps. First of all, like Trent just said, that they are allowed to be a little bit self-centered. It's the nature.
It's the nature, because the people
are
service, I believe.
It's our job to make them feel better.
It is.
So a little bit self-centered, but how would you deal with them, or how would you trying to take care of them in the best way? That so first of all, check your policy, check what can in what extent that you can offer them.
Certainly.
You know, like how far
we
can
can go.
Them.
Yes.
And then if you hit the you hit the end way, I would just say you have to remain calm and just keep apologize. Like all of time, most of the time, when people feeling so angry and they like stuck in their own emotion, and it just like rage and it just get thicker and thicker, they just need someone to listen to them, and they just feel like their request is not being heard. So you need to give them what they want first to like calm them down a little bit. Then you need to be the listener, even though they they keep saying like negative thing and like heavy words to you. But like, would you try to like take yourself a little bit further outside, like step out a little bit from your character as a staff right there, and try to pretend to be the therapist for a moment, or pretend to be the listener, not a therapist, a good listener, very good listener.
Yeah, I think this is very interesting idea, because incentive travel, we are dealing with people who are successful in their career. Mm-hmm. That's why they get the right to join this incentive trip, because it's a kind of reward that they will get. So many times we come across with those clients who demand quite a lot, and I always say that it's fine for them to be demanding, because this is their moment of life. I mean, this is something that's very special to them, and it's our job to make sure that they will feel that way, to make sure that they feel
special.
Yeah, they feel special. So yeah, I agree with Kun Тэй that actually we should be very calm. We should be very you have to be conscious of what are you doing right now, and you should be a very good listener. And being a good listener can help you help you go to many ways. I mean, for instance, I think Kun Trent and Kun Тэй and Kun Pran can express on this as well. Sometimes when we listen to a very difficult people, we find out that they are not that difficult.
Yes.
Their objective become very simple. They want to be heard. They want to be respected. They want to make sure that their requests become our priorities, which is quite simple to make them, to make them achieve their goal. What do you think about that?
It's actually our step to dealing with some difficult guests, because we start with listening, and then we apologize, and then we need to understand that what the thing should be done. Because the butler say we don't understand the feeling of the client, we only understand the feeling of ourselves, I believe. Yes, we need to, but we need to understand the situations, what it should be. For instance, if the Wi-Fi is not connected, if the coffee is not hot, if the milk is not cold, so you must make sure that everything that the clients want just must be done correctly and flawlessly. So it could be simply like that, and it could be exaggerate complaint from the client. It could be this and that from their experience, because we need to understand that they got different background, they got different approach from the services. So we need to understand them like what it should be, not what they're feeling. Because sometimes I got some complaints that, who are you? How could you possibly know what my feelings? It could be like that also. So I'm like, okay. I keep calm again and listen again. Something like that. So it could be like, you need to understand what it should be first. And the feeling, it could be after that from very demanding clients. You don't know me. I'm very important. I'm the VVIP guest. I'm the only person who know myself. Something like that. It should be something I've been through before. So you must understand the situations.
I think this is a very good place to jump to empathy.
Yes, that's true.
A very good place to do our transition, because when we talk about service industry, I mean, empathy is a very, very big idea that we have to make sure that we embrace the idea of empathy. And empathic communication is something very, very important, especially right now, because the world is very stressful.
Yes.
The world economy right now is very discouraging, and the business, people in the business world who are the major source of incentive travel people, they are struggling right now. A lot of business cannot go very well. When we have empathy, when we put empathy on the top of our list, when we design the experience, when we create a service, if we want to make the most out of that idea, I mean, create a program or an experience which presenting empathy, I would like you guys to share the idea of what empathy can make different with our service and experience design.
For me, empathy has the bigger definition than just be kind or be gentle. Empathy, it's something go beyond that. Empathy is understand, accept by trying to put yourself into their shoes. Think of yourself as them. So empathy is not gonna come from another people's point of view, but it comes from the point of view within yourself. But you have to understand them first and getting closer to them first. So to empathize, in terms in case of the customer, it can help fix this problem which we are trying to answer. We have to deal with the client with a very self-centered attitude. If you empathize them, you might find that their goal or their requests can be easily changed or can be easily fixed. But also empathize yourself as well. Give empathy to yourself. You have to understand your role, and you have to understand that your role have the ending time. We're going back to tune in and tune out of character. And of course, you've done something very wrong. You did a mistake today, but what are you gonna do after that? Are you gonna let yourself, stuck in the turmoil of the feeling of guilt? I would just say that you put your time and energy and analyze it and fix it and prepare for the future, for the future incident that might happen. A mistake is what will help you learn to be more prepared.
Yeah. Any idea, Trent, would like to throw in?
For the empathy, I'm actually going to start with how we understand from the customer view. I very encourage our service person to learn and get through our service journey, like how our customer could be experienced, could be do, could be seen, could be taste, and what if they struggle with something along the way? What could we do? How could we empathize them? And the empathize is start with ourselves. Actually, how we understand ourselves, how we understand the situation that we have been through in this morning, the heavy raining, and we need to be very clean and tidy before the work, like me today. So it's empathy yourself first, and then we can empathy our colleagues first, and then we start with the clients. Because if you don't empathy each other, we need to compromise, compliment each other. Sometimes when we got tired, when our friend is so tired and sick, we need to help them also. So empathy is each other. And then we could bring some good energy to the client after that. So I think it's better to start with your own colleagues while you got them training, while you could have some lineup in the morning, and we cheer up each other and we listen to each other, so we empathize each other, and then we could go out and ready for the show in each day.
Right. That's very cool.